Hi, Amber, Whims on the Hill. It's Wednesday, and I think it's the 14th. I don't know. Time's going so quickly. Middle of May. It's well, June is winter, but it's been warm today. I'm in a shirt. I've been getting about in just a singlet. Weather's everywhere. Anyway, I've got a bouquet order that came through, so I'm just going to throw together some stuff. It's a what I call a luxury bouquet on my website. So I have medium and large and luxury, which is like extra large. So I just thought I'd run you through just putting together that. Sorry, I'm out of shot. So I've got a bucket of foliage, which I've foraged from around the place, plus some bits and pieces in the front here, which is still going in the patch. Things that my cows didn't stand on this morning. I was on my computer updating my website, actually writing a blog post, and then I happened to look out my kitchen window, and there are my pet cows, which are my ones I milk, and their babies and a couple extra hanger-oners, and they're just wandering past my window in my front garden and then heading towards the road. And then I discovered that they'd got through a gate they shouldn't have got through into my dahlia paddock, which has got no dahlias, although they're all old plants at the moment, but then walked through my flower patch, which has all my little spring seedlings, things for spring, autumn sown. So they managed to walk through a lot of very tiny things that, I don't know, it was soul destroying this morning, but that's what happens. Anyway, so I have a few straw flowers, amazingly. I have some penstemon, this little white fellow here. There's actually a red one in there too somewhere. Some winged everlasting, which is really cute. Still some zinnias and this really nice blue status. There's even a bit of pink yarrow, and I've got a pitostrum. I've got some gum. I've got some nice blue gum. I've got some Photinia in terms of foliage. So there's a few different bits in there. I've also got over here, I've got some fern. I have some chrysanthemums. I have some roses. A couple of random cosmos, which were just like a stem growing up out of the ground. So just self-seeded cosmos is just flowering late. There's a piece of sweet pea. So I've got the foliage as well. This is sweet peas that have been autumn sown, and this particular one has just grown and flowered really early, so bizarre. So that's there. A few more zinnias. I've got some leucospermum. Is that what that's called? That stuff, that native stuff. So I've got some of that. Oh, there's like one piece of celosia. So I'm really foraging what's left around. Here's some more of the I'm pretty sure it's leucospermum. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's really pretty. And over here I've found some more bits foraging around my garden. Got some camellia foliage, some of which has got some buds on it. I've got a little piece of geranium or pelargonium, I don't know which one it is. Oh, knocking stuff on the ground. More zinnias, some Japanese anemones, or is it windflowers, whatever they call those. A piece of fuchsia. Don't know how that's going to go. I'm thinking that'll probably wilt and fall off, but if not, the foliage will be okay. Anyway, I need lots of material because I judge the medium bouquets when I make them. I can hold them in my hand quite happily. A large, I'm struggling. And the extra large, I kind of need to do a really big, like I can hardly hold it. And then I have to add to it. So I tie that first part off and then add a sort of a second part to it. So that's how we do that. Anyway, I will have some tea. I'm actually on the herbal teas now. Cut out caffeine. It's actually good. I'm so much clearer. And then I'll put this together. Okay, so I'm going to start with something. I think I might start with, no, I'm not going to start with that. Maybe some fern. Maybe not. Maybe I'll put that on the outside. Right, okay. Haha. I'm going to start with some chrysanthemum. And I'm just going to get the snips and snip off. I've got the sorest thumb, I've got a blister, really big, nasty one coming because I've been cutting down my dahlias. We don't get a killing frost. So I'm just going to throw this together, but I'll chat at the same time. Whack a rose in. I'm just going to build on, I'm going to cross over my stems as usual and just sort of work around. And try and work as quickly as possible, really, because I've got to go and organise something for dinner too. This is going to be nice and bright. It's for a birthday, so we'll just remember to take from this other bucket as well. Bit of status. Yeah, I've been cutting down my dahlias, so we don't get much frost here at all, even though we're up quite high. I don't know what it is, we just don't. And we certainly don't get killing frosts like you do in the Northern Hemisphere. So our dahlias, to get them to go to sleep or to get them to store so that they store their sugars back down into the tubers, you need to sort of imitate a frost. A bit of this stuff. It's got a funny little, another flower. There's the plant. And then it has, that's where the new growth comes from, in between the stems. Pull him off. So you got to imitate a frost. This is going to be definitely colourful. Yeah, imitate a frost by cutting down the plants. So technically you cut them down by a third, and then a couple of weeks later cut them down again by sort of another, like, well, by half of what's left. And finally, you know, in the end, you've got just sort of a few of the stalks left of your dahlias. It's nice to have a little bit of cosmos in there this time of the year. Anyway, so I've sort of cut those back. It's kind of, well, it's not really the first cut. I've actually done a bit harder and gone, probably cut them down by about half, because it is getting on and I hadn't had the opportunity to sort of get it done. I'm running a dahlia tuber dividing workshop this weekend, so there's some I haven't cut back because I want to show the people how it's done. It's pretty self-explanatory, really, but sort of explain that this is why we do it, and, you know, with their own dahlias, if they're planning on digging them up themselves and storing them. So that's, you know, that's what's on this weekend. I'm just grabbing, this is a nice piece of the Scabiosa, the Fama Blue, such as the perennial variety. It's a good one because the flowers, this isn't an overly big flower, but this is the first season this one's grown. Apparently the flowers just get bigger each season, so put a little bit of that winged everlasting in there. Yeah, they just keep getting bigger. So I've started some more of that for this coming season. I better put some foliage in. There's a bit of that Petinia. Trying to remember the names of everything. And I've got some really nice, it's a massive piece. The, well, it was two. Pittosporum. Pittosporum is the other name I hear people call it. I think we call it, I've always called it Pittosporum. I'm actually going to trim some of those side bits a bit. Otherwise it gets a bit fluffy. It's such a nice light green, and it's got such tiny, weeny little leaves. And it's not a variegated one. I'm not a fan of variegated stuff, really. That's nice in there. Got lots and lots of zinnias and things. Just keep adding. Trying to make this enormous. I'll go for that piece of, sorry, I'm going off shot a bit. Piece of, whoops, I've got that bit of yarrow. Not really a fan of yarrow. I actually dug, it's pretty in that. This is going to be very bright. I dug a bit of it out. Actually, I dug all of it out, and it's coming back. So I put my tulip bulbs where it was, because I don't sort of love it. I don't like how it's kind of itchy. The leaves are quite hairy, I suppose is the way to put another rose in. And I don't like that. They make me, I don't know, they make me itch. So I stripped the leaves off outside. Hopefully I won't get itchy again, but you never know. Now I might, just to balance it, flowers going everywhere. That bit of leucospermums over there, so I'll whack this bit here. can see what's going on in the camera. You kind of need a mirror. There's another piece of white cosmos. You might as well go in there while I've got you. I might put some of this. I really need to lay everything out because I'm just kind of ripping everything out of the bucket now. I've got some of this lovely gum. I think I might actually trim a couple of pieces of this off. I should prep everything before I start trying to put it together. And if you're not good at holding everything in your hand at once, it is a good idea to do that because it can get quite difficult. But you sort of get used to holding stuff and cutting stuff. And I mean, I've got things all over the floor now, but that's all right. A bit more. There's the zinnia. We're just really going anything with the colours here. Cause, oh, let's add some straw flowers. It's now on the floor. There we go, it's a nice orange one. Add a bit more. I'm still crossing the stems. I don't tend to spin my bouquets, like cross and spin and cross, and I tend not to do that. I tend to just lay things back in the front. I guess my sort of method has changed as I've gone on through the seasons. I find this it's a zinnia that they're not sort of opening up the same now. It's getting colder, but that's supposed to be a nice sort of burgundy one. There's my penstemon. It's a I bought some seedlings at the start of this season. It's now like this season's really coming to a close now, but I bought some like really small seedlings and they've done really well. I quite like them. It makes a nice sort of spiked flower. There's a bit more cosmos. There's sort of 3 different types in there. We're getting it all looks a bit everywhere at the moment, but once they sort of build on that woo, about on the other side. Oh, that bit's broken. That's fine. More zinnias. Gotta add a bit more foliage. Foliage is great for bulking stuff out. So this time of the year when we're a bit low on flowers. Now I've got some more of this chrysanthemum. It's like an unusual, it's got pink and green. It's really pretty. Bit of that in there. Sort of another piece to balance it out. I've got this one little lonely piece of, this is one of the floret, what is it? Celosia. I'm pretty sure that, actually I think that's the Texas Plume. So not one of their brand new ones, but I think it's one that they bred. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Okay, where are you going to go? Another zinnia. I think over here. Oh, is that a bug? No, it's not a bug. It's a weird thing. Hang on. There's a piece of this stuff, Pitostrum, on the ground. I think I might lay that in there across the top. I don't know if this is fun to watch, but there we go. I'm actually liking that so far. That's good. I'm happy. Might add a bit more this nice blue gum, but I might actually get rid of a couple of side bits. Otherwise, it's just a bit much. Oh, where are you going to go? Maybe over this side. It's coming together pretty well. I've got a nice couple of small pink bits of status. Just sort of scrounging around the garden to find the last little things that are left. The status, I've actually cut it back and cut the stems, like it's still flowering, but once the spent stems, I'm cutting right down to the ground. And apparently, like, you can get it to come back. So, like, I've planted out brand new status for next season. So, started it from seed, in the last couple of months. Another rose over here. So, I got 3 roses in there. And they're spaced out. One here. There's one there. And there's one over here, so just trying to get them even. Yeah, cut your status right back, and then it will. I'm kind of happy with this. This is, yeah, and it'll go another season. So, because I don't see, look, it's, you know, the plants are just bigger. I've got lots of status for next year. It's such a good plant. It's good, great fresh. It's a good sort of fill, and it's really nice dried, so that's good. Now, tuck you down a bit. It's coming along. Might chuck a bit more. Yep. Tinea. The foliage makes a really good sort of collar, I suppose you could call it. Like it, if you've got things that are kind of like hanging out, flowers that are hanging outwards, yeah, your foliage will kind of, you know, it'll really hold everything in. I don't know if I'll use this gum. It's like a gigantic branch. It's a bit floppy. I might whack you over. Oh, I've got that other stuff there. Hang on, I'm getting distracted. What else have we got? I might put a bit more of this winged everlasting in because these are cute. You sort of get to this stage and then you kind of end up like finding little gaps where you can thread things through. So they kind of tuck in, and depending on the stem, you can actually sort of poke it in a hole and then pull it out the bottom. That stems on those winged everlasting, they're a bit funny. They're sort of quite bendy, and they feel like they've got wire in them. Like they're really odd. I like them. It's a plant I had for this season, and then it disappeared. And it was getting swamped by the chocolate lace. But the chocolate lace all died back, and then the winged everlasting is really bushed up again. It's quite a low plant, and then these long spikes of the flowers that pop up. So there's a bit more. That's a floppy bit, but that's if the ones that bloomed, like the petals have opened, they're a bit more sturdy, whereas these little side flowers that haven't opened, they're quite floppy. That's okay. I'll tuck you in somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tuck you in. Oh yeah, we can, just in there if I can. Oops. There we go. Tuck, 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 and pull him out the bottom. Might have to pull him a bit. There we go. Change hands. Whoop. Try not to drop everything. Ooh, that was... it'd be like devastating to drop the whole thing. I'd have to start again. It's just can't be bothered. It looks even bigger on the video there. It's actually quite large now. That's really good. A few more zinnias there. I'm kind of running out of hand. I've got little hands. I'm quite a little person. Oh, there's a pretty pink one. Oh, hang on. Oh, goodness. Sorry. Right. There's another. Yeah, there's another spot there. There's a bit of gum flopping over here, so I'll get some of this fern and sort of use that to collar the outside. Might just put fern. Once it's wrapped up too, it looks much neater. Where's that going? Oh, that's right. I've still got this over here, which whether or not we're going to be able to fit these in. These Japanese anemone things. These are fun. Over there. This is where we start to struggle to hold everything. Actually, my shoulder, I feel like I'm getting tennis elbow with my shoulder. Tennis elbow with my shoulder. That's like a contradiction in terms, isn't it? There we go. Another one of those there. Right, so we're having a day tuber workshop on the weekend, which will be interesting. I haven't run one of those before. Got 4 people coming. I don't think I'm going to use any of the camellia. How's that going to go? I'm not sure. Here's a piece with a, maybe just that piece. A piece with a bud. Yeah, that's all right. It's a little pop of pink over here. I might just pop another bit of ferns over there. I'll pop another bit over here. I had to go right up the back of my property to get the fern. Like way over that way. It's kind of on our back 100 acres. It's way over there. Some nice pretty pieces. Yeah, I actually haven't used fern in anything before. Right, how's that? I think that's, oh, and I'm really struggling. Oh no, and my sweet, zinnias flying everywhere. And my pea, I like the sweet pea. I usually put this in last, and I like it to go sort of on the side. And then you can see here, that's the sweet pea foliage just poking out the side, just a little flippy bit. It's probably being a bit too flippy. Hang on, if I tuck it down a bit. And then the sweet peas there. So they actually, like, it's a bit hard to see how it's quite out the side. But once you put the paper on, those little bits that do tend to fly out, they certainly pull side bits of leaf off. They look a lot more sort of tidy. They tuck in a little bit better once the paper's gone on. Right, just gonna tie this up. I know, I use my teeth. If I had an extra hand, it'd be helpful. Right. Just got a double knot on that, and then I'll cut off the bits I've chewed on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice and bright. Birthday. I'm really happy with that. And then just have another sip of... I'm onto the chamomile tea. I've got all these different teas in my cupboard now, and my husband can't make me tea in the morning because he's like, I don't know what one you'd want. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it changes. Anyways, cut the stems off nice and straight and even. Some of them are harder than others. And there we go. So there we go. And I'll just wrap it up. So I use my schoolroom, which has got my dried flowers in it, as my wrapping station room. So this table, just because everything's dry in here, so I can see I've got a big pink piece of paper, which is the fancy paper I use when I'm delivering like big bouquets, not just to go to the bakery or anywhere. I'll show you how I folded that. So what I've done is, it's like a big piece of rectangle. I take this bottom corner and then fold it up over that side, over to the short end. So you've got the long end here, that bottom corner, and then I fold him up so he peaks up like a little mountain onto the top of that one. And then that's the straight edge there. And then I'll do the brown paper the same, so I'll do 2 of those, and then one of them has the sticker on it. So I can't really film this and show you like the whole process, but I've laid, this is the triangle bit of paper, and I just lay the bouquet onto the flat bit, and then I scrunch it up, fold it. So I fold it around half of the bouquet, and then I flip the bouquet over and fold the other piece of brown paper around the other side. If that makes any sense. Right, I've got this stage with the 2 pieces of paper on, and then now I'll just lay it onto the pink nice stuff, and I'll put the sticker, which is behind the bit of fern, like that. That'll be the back. I'll lay that down that side. Okay, I always stick that on with just some sticky tape, and 1 piece of that goes around the whole enormous bouquet. And then I'll finish it off with a bit of ribbon. So I've got some nice like just a cream, and I'll cut a big long bit, and I'll have like just long pieces hanging down, and then they don't dangle in the bucket of water, so they don't get wet. Okay, now that's done. So yeah, I just leave these like tails. So I'll put it in one of these buckets. It's for delivery for tomorrow, so that's all fine. I'll do it first thing. and I mean they can just sit outside of the bucket and not get wet. And there we go. I think that's nice. It's actually really, this is much bigger than my head. So we can judge by that. And the sweet peas over here dangling out the side. I quite like that. Yeah. I hope they like it. Happy birthday. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Probably didn't learn too much, but that's just how I wrap them and how I just like throw them together. Really, like, maybe don't use the word throw. A lot of foliage is useful. Like I don't have a lot of flowers, but the foliage has really bulked them up. But there are still quite a lot of decent flowers in here. But now that we don't have dahlias, that makes it a lot easier because obviously they're bigger and they take up more space. But I actually prefer this look a lot more than I do with the big showy dahlias because it's lots of different colour and lots of different texture and huge amount of variety, and it's still nice. So there we go. Anyway, I'll catch you next time.